Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Today I'm talking about Euphoria Season 2, Episode 5. aka the best episode we've seen so far. This episode opens up with Rue talking to her mom, and her mom confronts her with the fact that she's been taking drugs again. And we also find out that Jules was the one who told her. So this obviously ensues in a big fight. And Rue also finds out that her mom, and probably Jules as well, flushed the drugs down the toilet. So this obviously sends her into a panic because she knows she cannot lose that suitcase under any circumstance. This scene was some of the best acting I've seen from really everyone on the cast, but especially Zendaya. Miss Zendaya, she did what she needed to do. Miss Ma'am, I know she needed a good long nap after that. Good thing Tom Holland was on the set. I know he had to comfort her in her trailer, because that was some acting. She deserves a second Emmy just for that. When I was watching that, yes, I could see the award right there. That was amazing. But anyways, it was a really convincing scene, and it was tragic. Rue and her mom and her sister as well, they're all fighting. Gia's crying, the mom's yelling. Rue ends up breaking down the door. She's frantically looking for the suitcase. But that whole time she's looking, she doesn't even realize that Jules and Ellie have been sitting in the living room the whole time. And this obviously creates another fight. She's talking to Jules, she breaks up with Jules, she tells her she hates her, it's a big mess. Jules and Elliot end up leaving. Eventually, Rue's so broken down that she agrees to go to the ER, because she's obviously in pain like she was the whole episode. But I stress she agrees to go to the ER. When she's in the car, the mom talks about rehab. She doesn't want to do that, so she gets out the car and starts running. Almost gets hit by several cars. That was a really good scene in itself. She almost gets hit by several cars, and she eventually makes her way to Fez's house. Now, at Fez's house, there was no one there. Like, no one answered, so she left, and she goes to Lexi's house. By this time, it's nighttime. Kat, Maddie, and Cassie are there, plus Lexi, of course. And while Rue is in the bathroom, Rue's mom shows up to the house, and Rue comes walking down the stairs, and there's like an intervention type scene. They're standing up, they're waiting for her to come outside. Her mom's trying to convince her to come down, just to come with her to the ER, to the rehab. And Cassie is trying to comfort her as well. She's saying, you don't have to stay clean forever. You just have to take it one day at a time. Well, Rue didn't like that. And Rue knew how to play it perfectly. She asked Cassie, how long have you been screwing Nate Jacobs? And that made everyone freeze. Everyone was like, oh, okay. Of course, Maddie's mad, so that's a whole nother fight. And while they're fighting and they're arguing, and Cassie is crying, that's all she really did in that conversation. When Cassie went up the stairs, Rue went down the stairs, and Rue had the perfect escape because everyone was preoccupied with that drama that was going on. Anyways, she goes back to Fez's, and this time, they're there. Knocks on the door, he lets her in. He asks her, does she need anything? And she said, yeah, I need drugs. I'm feeling bad. And he's like, I don't have any here. She's like, okay, let me go to the restroom. She goes to the restroom. We all know when she said restroom, she was really just trying to go to the grandma's room and get some drugs. She goes to the grandma's room. She's looking at all the drugs and everything like that. And Fez catches her. And obviously he's very disappointed. Like, this is not the way you go about it. Even if you do need something, you do not steal it from my grandmother, who is defenseless. So that makes him mad. He asks her to leave the house. Of course, she doesn't just leave the house, because Rue has been in a state the whole episode. So she shows Fez, and Fez has to essentially drag her out of the house. And I think this scene in itself is just totally pivotal when it comes to Fez's character and Rue's relationship, because we've never seen him get physical with her. All the time she's been crazy, all the time she's been a little wild or manic, he has just let it happen. He doesn't blame her for the activity. He doesn't really get mad with her. He might get mad for a second, but it's not prolonged in any way, shape, or form. And he's never had to put his hands on her. Later in the episode, we see her enter somebody's house, just a random's house. You see them back out of the garage, and she pretty much runs into the garage and she starts stealing stuff. She's getting jewelry. She opens up the safe and she ends up getting, I don't know what it was. I think it was just money and some more jewelry. But of course, as she's doing all this, the family comes back and realize she's there because they think someone broke in. They go to get their gun and she's right there with the gun, like underneath the bed. Gun's in the safe. She didn't take that. But anyway, she's right there. She runs out and she starts running. Then she runs into the cops. This girl had an episode, okay? She runs into the cops. Cops start chasing her. They ran through a lot. They ran through streets. They ran through alleys. They ran through a party. And all I gotta say is they need someone new on the police force, because this girl's kidneys and possibly her liver, I don't know, was hurting the entire time. Miss Ma'am was walking with a limp. She was bow-legged trying to run. She wasn't even running that fast. She wasn't executing anything well, and they still couldn't catch her. Y'all need new officers. Y'all need some training, because y'all should be. Rue was not running that fast. Anyways, eventually she ends up at Lori's house, and I knew she was gonna go to Lori's house because of the preview. But why the heck would you go to Lori's house, like Lori the drug dealer? Because you know you do not have any of the money. And that's what she's going to expect. You know that she said, if you don't have any money, I'm essentially going to traffic you. She knows this and she still goes to the house. Again, she's not in the right frame of mind. She's not good. Anyway, she goes to the house and Lori essentially says that since you're a woman, you can get money other ways. You can use your body in other ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be selling. But at the end of the day, Lori's pretty much like, I need my money, so you're gonna get it either way. And, you know, Rue asks her, does she have anything that she can take? Because she feels terrible. Rue is going through withdrawals. And Lori lies, that we later find out. Lori lies and says, I don't have anything but injectables, so that won't help you because you don't do that. Rue is eventually feeling so terrible after she goes to the restroom and she throws up and everything like that she agrees to take the injectables. Lori strips her down, gets her cleaned up in the bathtub, and injects her. The next morning, she just wakes up in a random room, and I panicked. I thought she was stuck in there. I thought the lock was going to be on the door. Anyway, she walks out of the door, and she tries to get out one of the side doors, but there's a padlock or something on it. She tries to go to another door. There's a lock. Whole time, there's like 4 different people laying on beds, laying on the couches that could catch her at any time, and they have guns near them. I was panicked. Anyways, she goes to, I think it was like a bathroom part or a back room, and she's starting to realize that people back there are starting to wake up, so she has to get out of there quickly. She ends up opening up the window and jumping out. I was so happy she got out of there. I thought she was for sure trafficked. Because, on a side note, let's talk about Lori. She was so calm talking to her, telling her what she could do to get money. And then after that, she lied about having drugs in the house. She had many pills in that house that she could have gave Rue if she felt it was necessary. But she wanted to get Rue hooked on these injectables, knowing that if she's hooked on that, she's going to come back and there will be another chance for her to get Rue. And even whenever she was undressing her and helping her clean up, she said, I knew the moment I saw you, you'd be in my life for a long time. Do not say that. You want me. I don't. You want me for your little business because obviously I'm sellable. I don't want to be sellable. Leave me alone. I'm going to get you the money. maybe. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, in the car scene with Rue and her mother and Gia, you find out that Rue says she's a month away from ending her life. That's what the suitcase was for, which we all kind of figured. This is her downward spiral. She was going to party until it was the end of her life. You find that out right before she pretty much jumps out the car. But anyways, overall, this episode was a phenomenal episode. I really loved it. Zendaya deserves an Emmy. She deserves it. That was a good. Everything was well acted. I loved it. It felt so real, and I can't wait for next week. Thank you. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe.